My name is Michaela Morris, and I'm going to be a sophomore at Colby College, and I am from Seabrook, New Hampshire. And I got into digital humanities my freshman fall because I took a course with Professor McFadden and also Professor Lyle. One was called Made in Maine, and that was all digital mapping. And then the course with Professor McFadden was called Living the Good Life, and that was oral histories of basically like people, homesteaders in Maine. So that was really cool too.
What project are you currently working on?
So I'm currently working on an extension of the oral history project. So after the fall term ended, I became a research assistant for Professor McFadden. And for the rest of the school year, I transcribed and edited oral histories. And now I'm working on building a website to host all of them. Yeah.
And has your experience at ILiADS helped you with that? Have there been new skills that you've learned? What's your general experience at ILiADS been like?
ILiADS has been really, really fun. I don't even know where to start. Basically, it's been great to kind of talk to people and see what everyone else is doing. And it's really interesting because it's a totally different model than any other learning that I've ever been in, you know, because we're looking to like someone said at the opening meeting, they were like, maybe we need to look at K through 12, which is just like something you don't think about doing when you're in college. But it's actually really fun to be like, oh, I'm not just writing papers for the rest of my life. Like I actually get to do something that's fun and interesting and cool, and it's still really academic. Like I'm still putting in like hard work into like a really like worthwhile project in a way that's just fun. Like fun is good, so yeah.
Have you, out of your team time and meeting with the experts, have you had new ideas for directions you want to take this website? Are there things that you didn't think you would be interested in that suddenly just seem really interesting?
Yeah, like 100%. Let me think. So first of all, I computer science pretty much not very good at it. I'm definitely a humanities person. And then now that I'm here and hearing these experts talk about computer science, it just makes sense. I'm oh, I can see why this is necessary and why they do what they do. Whereas before I was just yeah, that's math, and I don't really do that. So so that's been really great. Especially see students who are like me, really interested in English and history and American studies, and they're also yeah, so we had to learn to code to be able to pursue our interests, and it actually wasn't that bad. And I'm oh, that could be cool too. And then also one thing that I really liked that someone said at the first meeting was, she was yeah, someone asked how do we start? And she was well, just find a good group of people who work well together, and that's your core. So I think it's really cool that it comes back to people. And that's definitely one thing that I want to bring back to Colby, is to get people excited to learn, and excited about new things. So yeah.
What do you think that would look like or entail? What does bringing DH back to Colby mean?
Like Isabel was saying, we actually have a lot of professors recognize how important the internet and digital projects are in the classroom. But I think it's yeah, like Isabel said, having a framework to be oh, this isn't just some random video you're doing. This is actually really important for you. Because for me, in high school and stuff, when the professor or teacher would be oh, go do a video, I was this is actually really stressful. I don't really know what I'm doing, and why this would ever be something that I need to do. But now I totally see their point and where they're coming from. So I think I'll actually really embrace those projects, which I wouldn't necessarily have before. And I think once, Isabel and I, we're gonna be digital humanities fellows, the Hamilton model when we get back. So I think where our job is kind of just to spread the word and get people excited, and I think it'll be really fun.
Yeah, could you talk a little bit more about the fellowship or the DH fellow program?
Yeah. So I don't really totally know what it means yet, because I think it's one of those things that you'll learn by doing. But from what I understand, we're going to become pretty proficient in all, or in most of the technologies, or even some of the technologies. And then when people need help with them, we'll kind of be hey, if you need our help, we're here, we can try and work with you. Not that we're going to be experts at all, but just that we're open to helping people. And I think it's actually really cool for students to see oh, this isn't something that some crazy person is telling me to do. It actually, students can do this, I can do this too. And I think that's one thing that's going to be really great. We've been able to connect really well with the undergraduate fellows, or the other undergraduates here. which has been really awesome because you can be like, oh, like there are other people who are doing this.
Cool. So you're going to be kind of like the ambassadors on your campus.
I guess so.
Spreading the word and whatnot.
Yeah, just kind of like cheerleaders for digital humanities. So
you're a rising sophomore.
Yeah.
Do you think DH is going to be applicable in, I mean, I don't know if you've declared a major yet, but do you think it's going to come into your other studies?
I mean, I like hope so. I pretty much, so I signed up for all my fall classes in the spring, right? And then I had some conversations with professors and have been doing more of this. And last week I completely like dropped all of them and signed up for new ones that are like pretty digitally based. So, which is, I just never would have thought of myself like doing anything really very digital. I really like reading and writing and not computers that much, but now I like computers. So, yeah.
So you like balancing out the reading, writing, and computers, kind of mixing
Yeah.
them together?
Because one thing that I kind of really realized here, like when someone was showing the medieval manuscript thing, it's a whole new way to imagine like reading. Like the tools that we are learning about actually allow you to connect more with the text and understand it better and in a different way than if you're just just reading and underlining. So I think that's really cool.
Fantastic. Have you learned any other lessons from the ILiADS experience or DH studies in general like that, realization that it can add to the experience that you've already had of your academic work?
I think most of what I've learned here is I don't know, I feel like a lot of undergraduate students, I've never really been in a situation where I'm talking to like professionals and experts and like professors and like people who are just so experienced. So it's kind of figuring out how to talk to people, because that's like a really important skill in life, and like the questions that are good to ask, and like how everyone kind of like I have a student's perspective, and that actually I learned that is helpful. Like sometimes people actually do want to hear that. And then you also kind of figure out oh, and these people they really know a lot, so it's really important to listen too. But in terms of digital humanities stuff, there's been so much. I don't know where to start. The mapping stuff is really cool. Yeah.
Awesome. So going back to what you said about the student voice, do you think ILiADS has done a good job of representing the undergrads? Are there things that could be done better in your opinion? Where do you stand on it?
I think ILiADS has done an amazing job of representing undergrads. I think there should be more. I think we should keep, because one thing that I definitely see in my peers is everyone is so smart. You go into the dining hall and there are these people who have great senses of humor and are just really funny and totally connecting with popular culture and making all these really fun comments about it. But then then I feel in class we're all kind of quiet, or we can be quiet. And I think if we just have more of us interacting with professors outside of the classroom, I really feel only good things will come of that, So I think bring more, it's awesome. Keep doing what you guys are doing. It's really great.